between the supply and the return. So that if a small amount of our dampers are open, one, it gets rid of some of that air noise because it's not sailing through there like a helicopter. But it also, even though that air is cold going back to the evaporator, it keeps the CFM going through the evaporator. It starts moving more air. And it will do that based on these set points. So it's looking at the pressure in the supply duct before the first dropper. That's where it's supposed to be. And then we give it a set point. So here at 0.75, it's going to start throttling that damper open to try to keep it from going above 0.75.
Is that not working?
Yeah, I don't know why that thing's at 97%. May need to be calibrated because
Is that an output or an input?
This is an output here.
Okay.
But our set point's 0.75 and we're less than half of that. So that damper should be almost closed. Now, if we talked about zeroing those actuators, it depends, if you have a rectangular damper, sometimes you'll have one where the shaft, here's a rectangular duct, the shaft comes out this side or it comes out this side. So if we're mounted on this side and that damper strokes counterclockwise, it may be different from backwards from what the actual actuator is doing.
Yeah.
So
It's RTU 6 oh. Right in the middle of this area?
RTU, where is it?
Yeah, what's it control?
we can change that. This is this, we looked at the service config screen for the Premier Link where we can tell it has 2 stages of heat, 2 stages of cooling, whether we want the fan to run all the time or not. This is the same screen, but for the zone controller. So we can tell it all yours are going to be single duct. You could run it as a parallel fan. They don't usually do it in VVT applications. These 2 options are usually for VAV systems. Very seldom will you ever see that. In this building, they're all going to be single duct.
She's fine.
It wants to know what the inlet diameter is. When it does the worst case scenario to figure out who's the worst zone in its bunch,
It is.
it also takes into consideration this number. It's not heavily weighted, but let's say we had 2 zones that were exactly the same deviation from set point, and those 2 were the worst case, but they were exactly the same. But one was a 16-inch duct and one was an 8. 16 is going to be our reference zone. So there's a little bit of weight added to that decision based on this number.
If they're the same temperature, that's like a
Yeah, if there's a tie, yeah. But right down here is where I was going. In that situation, we can tell this thing which way clockwise rotation is. So if clockwise opened the damper, then obviously we would have opened it. But if clockwise closed the rectangular damper, then we would change that to close. So it does depend,
Which way you mount?
if a rectangular duct damper opens clockwise on this side, it's going to be counterclockwise on this side. And I've seen that more than once where you tell it to open and the damper closes, you tell it to close and the damper opens. But that's where you set it here. With these systems, we've got a few of them around. You can put supplemental heat in them. So they could put like a little inline duct heater past the damper. And there's a little add-on board that snaps on to the top of the zone controller, so it gives you the outputs for this.
Yeah.
But this is where you would configure that. What kind of heat do we have? Is it modulating? Hot water? Is it electric?
Electric.
Okay.
To my knowledge, you don't have any of that stuff here.
Only one upstairs in the dentist's office. He has his own electric one in there.
He has an electric heater in there. Is it tied into the zone controller, or is it standalone?
We haven't been in there.
The ones Larry found.
It does pop up on the screen.
They look at their home stat, maybe? Those ones you found. for reheat?
It pops up on the computer though.
I don't know. Do we hook them up to these controllers?
His heater
Or have
does?
their own?
Okay, then they've got it configured for heat.
A sensor?
What's the address on that?
I haven't seen any heater.
I thought you said you found something for this one. Something to put this up.
No, usually a controller.
Controller for what?
What is the dentist office?
Oh.
Well, I've always, temperature
Yeah.
Just like on the rooftop unit controller down here at the bottom of the config page,
What is that?
255.
calibrate those sensors, just like on the Premier Link if they were off. You can also do some averaging.
260.
I don't think, you're not doing any of that here. This system pilot can actually be used in place of that sensor on the wall. Obviously, they're a lot more expensive. You wouldn't need to have one on every zone, but the only thing wrong with this system pilot, when they built it, they